Hey everyone, next Time Force episode, Destiny Defeated. Another really great episode. Freaking love this one. It's an amazing conclusion to the previous episode. Um, just all around a really good episode. There's a few weird things though. Let's see. So, synopsis first. Alex is berating the Rangers on their available tech, and they're getting really fed up with him. Let's see, they take him up to the clock tower. He's looking at all their stuff. Pfft, trash. What's all this? What, don't you have anything better? Like he forgot that their ship crashed and blew up. It's not like they were coming prepared to begin with. Alex is a jerk. And he even insults Circuit, so you know he's the bad guy now. No one insults Circuit. Meanwhile, Wes is with his father at the hospital, and he sees the sunrise out the window, and he remembers what Alex told him. What was it? Tomorrow your father will die. And it's really amazing to me that back on Fox Kids for Time Force, they were allowed to, like, they got away with saying die here. Like, I guess maybe the compromise was that, well, Mr. Collins doesn't actually die, so it's okay to say he's going to die if he doesn't. It's just weird because of how squeamish the show would get about, like, saying die later on. Very strange. I don't really know where that was coming from, especially when like Power Rangers had gotten to the point of Time Force where like these two episodes are very maturely written episodes, and it seems like after Time Force things just kind of went down and up throughout the Disney era, and then when Nickelodeon came around and Neo Saban happened, it just plummeted back to like I don't even know what. Anyway, moving on. Enough of that rant. Let's see. There's a weird part. Eric is apparently leaving. Don't know where that came from. Apparently there's a deleted scene from the previous episode where he quits the Silver Guardians. I'm not sure exactly what motivated him to leave the Silver Guardians. Is it because those couple of business guys wouldn't listen to him? And he got all butthurt about it? Whatever. Is that really motivation enough for his character to want to leave? What about the Q-Rex? Is he just going to leave that here? What about his Quantum Ranger powers? I don't know, this was a dumb plot point that did not need to be there. I think they probably could have come up with a better reason for him to not, like, be helping the Rangers from the onset. Like, I don't know, maybe he's staying at the hospital with Mr. Collins or something, or maybe, I don't know, while Frax is attacking the city with Dragantron, Rancic and Nadira are doing something, he's stopping their thing, and then he goes to help the Rangers at the end. I think any of that would have been way better than what we get with him here. It's the one, like, really weak point of this story. However, there is a nice little bit, and it, like, all the scenes with him, even though I don't think it's the best they could have done, they are well done scenes. Let's see. He's leaving, he's waiting outside, he has his pet birds with him from before. That little girl from before comes over to talk to him. She sees the birds, and he gives the birds to her and asks her to take care of them. It's a nice little scene for Eric, and I do like the scene. It's just, I think they could have done better with him. Let's see. The Rangers are back in battle with Dragantron, and there's a nice little subtle thing where Alex is giving orders to the Rangers, and Jen responds to him without any kind of emotion. Just, yes, Alex. Very robotic. And it really, like, it shows the start of their relationship is breaking apart. She doesn't see Alex as the same person anymore, and, like, I'm trying to think, like, she doesn't quite, I don't know what how to describe it. She's, like, really conflicted over it, although she's leaning more towards I don't like him now. At the hospital, Wes is, oh yeah, there's a cool part at the hospital. Wes talks to this one guy, and the guy he talks to looks like Crispin Glover. The guy tells Wes that, hey, I'm surprised that you took over your father's company. And Wes is like, yeah, well, what he would have wanted. I don't think so. He was proud of you for going out on your own. And he tells Wes that he was there and he saw when Rancic attacked his father, and he heard what his father told Rancic about Wes. He took control of his own life, and I'll always be proud of him for it. And so that makes Wes start to reconsider his duties and, like, should I stay as in charge of the company, or should I make my own decision, which is I want to go back and help the Rangers, even with or without powers. So, meanwhile, the Rangers are losing the fight against Dragontron, and there's another nice little bit that shows, let's see, Alex shoots down any kind of suggestion from the other Rangers. Like, Trip brings up, hey, maybe we should do this. No. Just, no. Just immediately no. Like, he doesn't even consider it for a second. Just, my way is the only way. My way must be the right way because it's my way, not yours. A new way. Anyway. um... Wes is in a car being driven to some meeting. He sees the clock tower, and there's a nice little flashback to him and the other Rangers goofing around in the clock tower. He abandons the car, he goes up to the clock tower, he finds it all empty, he's looking at these photos on the table, and there's a nice little subtle thing on the table. You also see a bunch of the Rangers, like, personal things, like, you see Trip's hat, and I think Katie's vest is on there, showing that, like, it's a nice little symbolic thing that the Rangers, like, are truly still with Wes and not Alex. When they're with Alex, they're in their uniforms, totally impersonal. Like, all the uniforms are identical. They're just drones with him, but with Wes, they're actual personalities. And I think that's a cool little subtle thing that probably wasn't intentional, but I don't know. It's a cool scene. I like it. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Rangers are. Oh yeah, back at the clock tower. Circuit flies in, he's damaged, and oh yeah, this happened earlier. Okay. The Rangers almost capture Frax. Let's see, they were knocked out of their Megazord, they're fighting with Frax on the ground, and they almost capture him, but then Alex is like, no, our priority is to destroy the thing that's powering the Zord, or Dragontron, whatever. And so that gives Frax the moment he needs to attack the Rangers and get away, and then Circuit flies in, Rangers, you got... And then Frax shoots at Circuit. I remember as a kid, that freaked me out. Like, holy crap, you don't attack Circuit. Jerk. Anyway, Circuit flies back, and he's barely functioning. He tells Wes what's going on. And then, let's see. He powers down, and then we see Wes, like, nearly break down. He's on the floor. His eyes are tearing up, but then he remembers what the guy at the hospital told him about his father believes in him. And how he wants him to make his own choices. So then he does. He goes to help the Rangers, and then he gets there just in time. The Rangers are, like, at a breaking point with Alex. Let's see. Frax has blasted them all. They're unmorphed, lying on the ground. Alex gets up before everybody else, and he's yelling at them, get up! Don't you care about the future? And Lucas finally struggles to get up. I've had enough of this. And I read on Ranger Wiki, originally scripted or something, there was a scene where Lucas goes over and punches Alex. Which would have been awesome! Why didn't they keep that? It would have been so good. I guess it was too violent. Like, they didn't want human-on-human violence. It has to be like, the Rangers can fight robots, they can fight monsters, they can fight mutants, but human punching other human? No, no, no. Whatever. I like to think that maybe Lucas was just about to do it when Wes got there, which I think was also mentioned on Ranger Wiki, that if you look at Lucas, like, he has his fist raised at Alex, which is pretty funny. So then, oh yeah, Katie also stands up to Alex, telling them that they're stronger with Wes, and if he was a real leader, then he'd see that. Wes arrives, and Alex begins to question himself when he sees the Rangers fall right into working with Wes, and he, let's see, he gives his Morpher back to Wes, and Alec watches as they go back into the Zords, and then we cut back to the hospital, and Mr. Collins is dying. But then we see someone walk in, we see a silhouette walk in, and someone hands him something, and suddenly Mr. Collins wakes up, he looks up, and he sees Alex there. Although he doesn't know it's Alex. He doesn't even know Alex exists. All he sees is Wes. So then, back with the Rangers, Eric is driving away. He looks up to see the Dragontron Zord, robot, whatever. He gets out of the car, calls Q-Rex, helps out the Rangers. Then Wes gets an idea. He takes the Megazord and jumps on top of Q-Rex, mounts it, and, like, goes to joust with Dragontron. He gets up to Dragontron, the Megazord jumps off, Q-Rex slashes at the power thingy on its chest, that blows up, they destroy Dragontron, and the Rangers are back on the ground, they begin to celebrate, but Wez runs off. Eric drives up, come on, I'll give you a ride. And then he drives him to the hospital, Wez runs into the hospital, he finds his father's room, he goes in, and it's all empty. And he's like, oh no. And I love this scene. Like, I almost wanted to cry watching it. And it's such a brilliant scene because it really takes talent to make you, like, feel really sad even when you know everything's gonna be okay. Like, we saw Mr. Collins was fine earlier, but Jason Faunt just pours his soul into this scene. Like, he goes up to the bed, lays his head down, and just his face just makes me want to cry. And then he hears his father's voice, Wesley. And he turns around, he sees his father's still alive, and his father tells him that, what was it? You saved me. And Wez is like, what? And then Wez's like mind clicks, it must have been Alex. And so then, after him and his father have a talk, his father tells him, look, I'm proud of you for taking over the company, but I don't want that for you. I want you to live your own life and make your own decisions. And that's such a big theme in these episodes. I so like that so much. All we need is Keeper to come in at the end and, like, tell it to Wez again. Also to tell him watch out for meteoroids. Anyway, Alex is down at the beach, and he's telling all the Rangers goodbye. He apologizes, he even hugs Jen goodbye. Then Wez runs up, and Wez asks him about his father, and says, so what was all that stuff about tampering with the future? Isn't that what you did? And Alex says, what was it? We make our own destinies. You taught me that. Then him and Wez say goodbye. Alex gets in the time ship, goes back to the future. Freaking awesome. Also, I like that they redeemed Alex a little bit at the end. Like, he realizes what he did wasn't exactly right. Like, he still thinks that, you know, his heart was in the right place after all. Like, he was doing what he thought was the right choice, even if in the end it wasn't. It's a cool thing. And I was thinking about the last episode where I compared him to Holdo, and it's a similar thing where Holdo doesn't really get a redemption. Like, she sacrifices herself, but because of what she did, it doesn't really feel like a redemption. It feels more like just cleaning up her own mess, more than anything. Whereas Alex kind of genuinely feels like a real person a little bit more, who actually learned something. I don't know, whatever. Oh no, I mentioned Star Wars again. Anyway, really cool episode, although the whole thing with Eric was weird. Oh, one of the really cool things, when I went to Ranger Wiki, there was a theory there about the little glowing orb thing that Alex gives to Mr. Collins, and it revives him, is the thing that revived Alex. That's a really good theory, because I don't think we ever actually see how Alex survives. Like, at the moment, it kind of looks like, and I thought of this while I was watching it, when Mr. Collins is dying, and then Alex gives him the little glowing orb. He's only mostly dead. Mostly dead is still slightly alive. So, I don't know, maybe if you're still slightly alive, the orb thing can save you. So maybe Alex, back in the first episode, maybe he was only mostly dead, so he's still slightly alive. They give him the orb thing, and poof, he's alive again. Seems like a police force should have those things just on hand. Although, I don't know, maybe they keep them secret. Alex did keep things secret for no reason. Let's see, anyway. That's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. It's a really good one, really maturely written, a really, really great episode. And it's kind of funny, at the end of these, I'm watching on the Shout Factory DVDs, they have previews for the next episode, next time on Power Rangers. This one, the next episode, is a really goofy episode, which I guess makes sense. It's a tonal thing. Like, they can't have it all be this serious, this tense, week after week. Maybe Sentai could, but Power Rangers can't. Power Rangers does a really good job, especially in Time Force, of switching between the more serious episodes and the goofier episodes. I'm not sure which ones are coming next. Let's see. Let me look at the little booklet here. What upcoming episodes do we have? Okay. Oh, okay. So the next one is the one where Wes and Jen go undercover at that workout place. Then we get the one with the knight and Trip smashed pizzas. Oh, and then the Time Force Lightspeed team up. That's awesome. So yeah, we got some really cool episodes coming up. I really like these. So this will be a fun next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed this. See ya.